Hey guys, so we're out here today with the Suzuki V-Strom SX, the company's first entrant into the quarter-litre adventure motorcycle segment out here in India. Well, this motorcycle was just launched just last month at 2,13,000 rupees ex-showroom. And while this motorcycle is not the same as the V-Strom 250 that's available in markets abroad, that motorcycle comes with a nice twin-cylinder engine that has a lot of power on hand. This motorcycle that we're getting out here in India, well, this comes powered by the same 249cc single-cylinder engine that powers the Gixxer 250 naked that's already available in the country. Now, Suzuki is marketing this motorcycle as the master of adventure, and we're out here today to find out just how much of that statement is true. So, let's get to it. Now, in terms of design alone, this Suzuki V-Strom SX looks very unique and quite outstanding. It's got certain traits of a proper adventure-focused motorcycle, as well as certain traits of a more road-biased motorcycle as well. So once again, this motorcycle is based on the 250 Gixxer that's already available in the country.
Starting with the wheel, you get a nice big 19-inch front wheel that's clad in a dual-purpose MRF tire, and this gives the bike a nice and imposing adventure-ready look at the first glance. It gets a disc brake and a telescopic front suspension, but there's not a lot of travel on the unit up front, which, along with the alloy wheels, just goes to show that this bike is more set up to waft over broken paved surfaces rather than tackle some tough terrain. The headlamp and the indicators are lifted straight out of the Gixxer 250's path spin, but their integration with the front fairing looks very nice and tidy. The bike gets a small fly screen up front, which along with the beak that's synonymous with bigger Suzuki adventure bikes, gives the bike a purposeful stance when you look at it head-on and in profile. Now behind that fly screen, you get the same all-digital LED screen that's lifted straight off the Avenir scooter. Now there's a lot of information stuffed in there, and some of the readouts are really tiny, which is a bit annoying. But on the plus side, the turn-by-turn navigation that pops up on the left-hand side of the screen once you hook up your phone to it is fairly easy to decipher. The bike gets a nice wide handlebar, and it also gets knuckle guards, and this adds to the ADV vibes overall. The V-Strom SX gets a 12-litre tank and nice and broad split seats, which are padded well enough to make them feel both accommodating and comfortable. The V-Strom SX stands at a good 205 mm off the ground, and it also gets a bash plate to protect the engine from external forces. The exhaust unit, like the tail lights, are lifted straight from the Gixxer 250. Just that the end can misses out on shiny chrome finish bits and gets a blacked out treatment instead. Even the rear of the bike looks substantially large, with the luggage rack that doubles up as a pillion grab rail, and this along with the 18-inch rear wheel that's clad in a chunky 140/70 section 17-inch tire makes the bike look big. The 7-step adjustable monoshock suspension unit handles duties at the rear. In terms of riding aids and safety features, this Suzuki doesn't come with any ride modes or traction control, but it does get dual channel ABS, and it also gets side stand down engine cutoff tech. Sadly, the ABS can't be switched off on the motorcycle, which is a telltale sign that although this bike really looks the part, it really isn't meant to go hard off-road. In terms of performance, the V-Strom SX gets the same 249cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled motor as the Gixxer, in the same state of tune. The gearing remains the same, and the motor continues to perform smoothly and in a very refined, stress-free manner. The 26.5 PS and 22.2 Nm on tap is spread all across the band, and the first two gears are rather short, while the other four are quite tall. So you'll find the bike very tractable and peaceful while riding through the city, and you can even pull away from something as low as 35 kmph in 6-cog without having to touch the clutch. And you can also pull all the way up to triple-digit speeds, but this happens in a very relaxed manner. Want to make a quick overtake? You'll definitely have to downshift a cog or two if you want to make it quick. Even though the motor loves to be revved, it still doesn't feel as quick or lively as the competition in the form of the KTM 250 Adventure. But in the ride and handling department, well, now that's where this bike really stands out. While it definitely looks tall and imposing, it really isn't so once you actually swing a leg over it. And as soon as I read that this V-Strom comprises the same chassis as the Gixxer 250, well, I immediately assumed that this bike would be a cinch to flick around on the road, and as it turns out, it actually is.
So now, according to me, one real standout aspect about this motorcycle, the V-Strom SX, has to be its ride quality. Now, everything from the comfortable seat, which is nice, broad and accommodating, to the ergonomics, the nice wide handlebar, the forward set foot pegs, well, it's all very touring friendly if you ask me. Even in the city, riding this motorcycle is just a breeze. It's very simple, easy, comfortable, and very easy to get used to in the long run. So the suspension, the way it's set up, although there's not a lot of travel at both ends, well, this suspension just eats up undulated roads with ease. It's just a dream, and it's just so comfortable to ride for both the rider and the pillion.
The bike feels so nicely balanced, and it takes to long sweeping corners like a dream. So all in all, the V-Strom SX does tick a good amount of boxes when it comes to various on-road riding scenarios. But can it really be deemed the master of adventure? I honestly think not. Yes, I did find the ground clearance great for taking on government-approved obstacle courses that are Mumbai city's roads. But when it came to doing something as simple as standing up on the V-Strom SX to take on a really rough or uneven patch, the Suzuki didn't feel very comfortable. The position of the foot pegs and the handlebar meant that I was hunched, reaching down awkwardly for the bars, and couldn't hold onto the bike nicely with my knees, which felt rather unnerving. Also, the ABS can't be switched off, so when you have to drop anchor fast over some loose gravel using the right pedal, well, the bike won't comply. Yes, you can work your way around these things, but as a stock product, not overly adventurous if you ask me. So I'd go so far as to say that if you're the sort who's new to off-road riding and aim to gradually hone your skills on the subject, this quarter-litre V-Strom won't really be your best option to do this on. So what is the Suzuki V-Strom SX actually good at?
At 2,13,000 ex-showroom, what do you get for this money? Well, it's a very comfortable motorcycle for one, commendable road manners, decent soft road manners as well. But given the competition in the form of the KTM 250 Adventure and the Benelli TRK 251, well, this motorcycle definitely seems to be lacking a certain amount of features and suspension travel as well. But if you're in the market for a very good, handsome looking motorcycle that's comfortable to ride both in the city and out on the highway on long distance rides, well, this is a motorcycle that you definitely should be considering.